Hello, my name's Adam Phillips and I'm just about to animate a bitey scene going over some 3D terrain. I decided to capture the screen because I get asked a lot how I do this kind of thing. This 3D floating camera effect, faux 3D floating camera effect, is something I developed for the UU, which is basically, well, I started messing around with the idea in Prowlies, where basically the idea is to animate a vanishing point around the scene first, and then animate everything headed towards that vanishing point at all times. You can see how I did it in the UU more than Prowlies. Prowlies was kind of, I basically animated a vanishing point headed back into the darkness, and then animated all those trees going back towards that vanishing point at all times throughout the scene. So you might not see too much of a vanishing point in this scene. Oh geez, because it's off screen a lot of the time. So here you can just see that the vanishing point might be up here somewhere. And then in this scene, it's way off screen to the right, in this panel, I mean. So what I've got here is basically a bunch of panels that I've timed out in Flash to give me an idea of how the camera is moving. I roughed these out just a while ago, so it's just very, very rough, loose drawings that you shouldn't spend any time on if you're gonna do this kind of thing. If you're working off your own storyboards or your own animatic or your own layout drawings in Flash, like I do, there's no need to make them super pretty. It's the end thing that counts, how much work you put into the end product. But in these rough storyboard drawings, these storyboardish drawings, yeah, I don't spend any time on them at all. So what I'm going to do is animate a down shot of bitey running. There's no opportunity for reuse in this scene because, or very little opportunity. Normally I would, if it was just a down shot for the whole scene, I would just animate bitey on a cycle, maybe lengthen the cycle to make it more interesting, or do a couple of cycles to chop and change between the two to break up his movement so it doesn't look too repetitive. But in this scene, the camera, because we're swinging around, the camera comes down alongside him here, and then here it's in front of him. That doesn't give us any opportunity at all for reuse of his animation. So I'm just going to animate his cycle. I'll turn off his... Oops. Yeah, I'll turn off his rough drawing just because it's a bit distracting. What's going on there? Huh. Anyway, this is what it's going to be like listening to me animate. I just get distracted, and it's going to suck. Maybe. Right. So bear with me while I just when I vague out and go into some kind of useless narrator mode. I'm just going to, while I animate, I'm going to turn off the timeline. And I'm just going to put that up there, make the screen center, just so that you get a better view of what I'm doing. Oh, one thing I've got to do is, while I'm animating in this pose, animating this kind of angle, I've got to eventually get down to this angle. So I've got to keep that in mind while I'm doing all these other drawings in this. I've got to slowly move the camera down to that angle. So I'll just animate a bit of a cycle for him first. So in his leaping, bounding cycle, here this is the drawing where he's coming off the ground. This is the drawing where he's coming down. He's airborne and one leg trailing behind, as always.